This nigga Kevin Durant, bro. I can't fuck with this nigga, bro. I can't do it, bro. I just can't do it. I cannot. There's too much. First of all, there's too much that I know. But also there's just it's none of this stuff. It doesn't sound like a feasible thing. It's not adding up. Nothing that is being said right now is adding up. Like again, for somebody to just do what Kevin Durant just did. First of all, how this stuff continues to leak out, I don't know. But for someone like Kevin Durant, if he did what he did, which is rumors, I guess, based off of the sources of Shams, for him to do what he just did, literally means he is he is willing to just destroy the entire organization for the sake of what he believes is best, which doesn't make any sense because it's counterintuitive of the things that they've already done. Even if Durant did not want to be around Nash and Marks anymore, fine. I would then ask you, why would you sign a 4-year deal knowing that they were the coach and GM of the team? Why would you do that? But even if you wanted Marks and Nash gone, why do it this way? Like there's several ways that you can get rid of a coach and a general manager without it being like outed like this. So we're talking about like bro, we're like literally we're a few months away from the NBA season starting. There's no realistic result of this that that can get us to a productive conclusion. There just isn't. Which is why I think he's legitimately saying, "Yo, give me this thing, and if you don't, then give me this unrealistic thing that I know isn't really going to happen, and I also know doesn't actually come to any productive conclusions that would best benefit me." What does firing Sean Marks and Steve Nash do right now? What does that do? The team is set. You're going into the next season with the team. They still have already done what they wanted to do with Kyrie. It's done already. What does any of this shit do? It doesn't do anything. So it doesn't like what he is saying or what he's asking for doesn't even come to a reasonable conclusion. So now you want me to believe that what you made a request of or the demands that you made should have resulted in what? What does it result to? They fired them, they get new head coaches and a GM. The roster is still set. So what does that do? Do you think that Sean Marks is he believing that Sean Marks isn't trying his hardest to potentially make the team better, even if that means trading Ben Simmons? Like, what does all that mean? None of that. It just doesn't make any sense. Again, maybe Nash situation understandable, but again, you signed off. You more than likely signed off on the Steve Nash signing, and then you signed an extension knowing that Steve Nash was going to be your coach. But if you wanted that nigga to be fired, y'all could have did the same thing y'all did with Kenny Atkinson, or you could have did the same thing you've done with other coaches in other situations where behind the scenes you made the request and something happened and it was like that and you moved forward. But you can just go back to interviews. You can go back to interviews with both Kevin Durant and Steve Nash, not only on like a national media level, but even on KD's podcast, the way they talked about Nash, it was as if like they were all for it. I get it. You cannot publicly come out your way to be like, yeah, I ain't fucking with the new hire. But you went out, but Kyrie went out of his way to basically say that about Sean Marks. But are we gonna just change coaches every fucking 2 years? Like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? None of this shit makes sense. There's no end goal. What is the end goal with this? Because it's all ass backwards. None of it makes sense unless Kevin Durant legitimately. As a matter of fact, this is my new theory to the people in here and to Ash and Classina. I think, based off of all the information I've gathered through the media and other sources, I genuinely believe KD doesn't want to play here anymore. He looks at the roster, he doesn't want to play anymore. I also believe that he don't really want to play with Kyrie. He fuck with Kyrie. I don't think he want to play with Kyrie though. But because of the relationship that he has with some of the players, I think he's really willing to just throw any and everybody under the bus to take himself out of this situation. That's what I legitimately believe.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Plus, I don't really know what the end goal is. Because if he wants a star, then no, they're just not getting it. They don't have the assets anymore. Nobody's trading Ben Simmons for a star of equal or greater value. And the way that the roster is set up, I feel like they're making all the moves they can at this point without outright just moving Ben Simmons in general. And even then, they still probably won't be good enough to probably appease KD and the rest of the niggas in the row. Yes, Kyrie and KD.
To make these decisions literally, there's no sound conclusion to come to outside of him just not want to be there. Because if he wants another star, does he? Let's go backwards now. Does he now want me to believe that he wasn't trying to get Harden to the team to get another star? Because that's what he said.
I think he's trying to force the hand of Sean Marks to either um, move him or do something. That's what the ultimatum. That's what I'm getting from the ultimatum.
But what is a do something though? Because every do something conclusion, whatever that is, it would count. It would literally contradict something that he said he didn't do earlier. So again, if it's, hey, trade Ben Simmons because we need another star. So another star. Yeah, I want another star. Okay. So now you want me to believe that when 2 years ago when they were asking you, hey, did you sit down with Harden during the summer and try to persuade him to force his way out of Houston? You want me to believe when they asked you that question that you said no, I never did that. That's a rumor. That you want me to believe you when you said that, but now you're so desperate for a star, you willing to fucking fire the whole front office and the coaching staff, or I'm a demand a trade. It
I
don't make
don't.
no
I don't
sense.
think. I don't think it'll even come to that because it's just a. This is just KD saying in a roundabout way, "Get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to be here no more." Like we know realistically, you can't get a good GM. You can't get a good coach with 1 month to training camp. It's just not realistic. This is more just to him saying, "Get me the fuck out of here by any means. I don't care. I don't give a fuck."
I agree with that. I just think honestly, KD just doesn't really. He just doesn't want to be in Brooklyn at all, and he's just trying to burn every bridge possible because he knows he doesn't have leverage. He's on contract. They can. We've all been thinking that they're just gonna run it back next year because they're not gonna find a good enough trade. So he's just making it to where he's trying to build leverage by getting the media to like riled up and thinking that okay, there's the bridge between him and the coach and him and the GM is burned and like there's no way like what I don't know who was just speaking said like they're not gonna find a coach and a GM like with like a month away from training camp and just start everything over again. So I just think he's just trying to gain leverage right now to actually get the trade to happen.
Katie's trying to be as toxic as possible so the front office can just be like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what we do. Just get him the fuck out of my face. Whatever.
But yeah, I don't get it. I'm lost.
Katie a bitch.
He running from
She's.
that grunt.
I'm not trying to say that, but yo, that nigga is running from the grind. No cap.
But why we
What
acting like
grind is he run? There's no grind. Brooklyn is a good team. He just doesn't like the team, and from what I can see, it's a
But what
good
what's
team.
what's not to like about it though?
The front office and the management, and the fact that they sold them a dream, and then now are going back on that and going back on the whole. We're gonna give Kyrie a max. Okay, now
What
even
dream
though the whole
did they
situation.
sell? They did
Yeah,
everything. They did everything KD wanted, bro.
yeah, right.
No,
They
yeah, they
traded
sold them the
all the
dream.
assets of James Harden.
There's no dream to himself.
They gave them the first year, and they like with everything going, like they gave them what they wanted the first year, and they made them believe that, okay, you guys have the control, which was their fault in the first place. We all agree that it was their fault for giving them that much power. And then now all of a sudden they're just flipping the switch and being like, okay, we're not gonna give Kyrie a max. We're gonna drag this whole situation out. We're gonna make a bunch of, like, we're just gonna, like, you guys don't have any more leverage, and the team lost in the first round. And although KD did play bad, like the rest of the team was terrible as well. So like he's just like, if KD doesn't think they can win, they can win. And the fact that the front office literally just like the whole 180 on what they were like originally sold on.
But they gave him a max. They gave him a max contract. It just came with a contingency, though.
I don't think the GMs was selling it to KD. It was Kyrie selling it to KD because KD didn't even want to go to Brooklyn. It was Kyrie who was like, "Hey man, come over here, bro. It's gonna be good. We're gonna win X amount of rings." Da 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 da. And that shit didn't pan out for whatever reason. Well, we know because of injuries and etc. But and now he's seeing that Kyrie's not happy with what's going on, and now he wants out because he didn't even really want to be there in the first place.
So you think, not to the gentleman who just spoke, Mo, you think that
Yo,
this whole thing is just nothing but a leverage play to get Kyrie the contract that he wants?
no, I think we're way past that already. I think that was like earlier on in the off season where he was threatening to get to make a trade request so that he can get Kyrie the max. But now that we're already way past that. I think he's just there's nothing the Nets can do to keep KD at this point outside of getting rid of the GM and the coach, which is impossible. Like it's
I,
just like setting yourself up for failure.
I get what you're saying, but you're saying that he sold him on a dream. So what? You let's just say the dream of we can come here and do whatever they want. From our knowledge, the only thing that they have bucked back on is not giving Kyrie a fully guaranteed max. They gave him a max; it just wasn't fully guaranteed because he had to play a certain amount of games. But outside of that, from all that we know, there's nothing that we know of where they didn't give it something to Durant that he didn't request. And from all the things that we've been able to piece together, there have been requests made from Durant at bare minimum, the DeAndre Jordan signing that was detrimental to the team, and they still made that decision because that's what they wanted.
Don't get me wrong. If the biggest mistake I think that the Nets made in general was for James Harden, because that core with Jared Allen was perfect. So I feel like there's a lot of mistakes that front office made in general, in my opinion. And not one thing that is also not taken into consideration in this whole trade request is the fact that KD probably doesn't want to play with Ben Simmons either, especially after that stunt he pulled at the end of the playoffs where he was like, "Oh, I'm ready to grind," posting them stories, and like I'm gonna be back for game 4, game 5, maybe, or game 3, game 4, and then all of a sudden like backing out the moment they were down 0-3. Like I feel like that also, like KD doesn't like that. He doesn't trust in Ben Simmons as well. That's pure speculation. I've never seen anything about it, but I could assume that based on
Yeah,
like
for sure. I've come to the same conclusion as well. I just don't. I see what you're saying. It's just it still just points to Durant making a massive mistake in all. It doesn't matter. And sure, what I'm saying to everybody is that it doesn't really matter what conclusion you came to or how you want to view this. It still comes across that Durant is just making massive mistake after massive mistake. And so the way to handle this doesn't really make any sense. It also doesn't make any sense that this leaks out because if you're Durant's team, if you're on Team Durant, like you're his management, his agent, the people who represent him, why would you leak this information to Sham? Because if you want a GM fired or a coach fired, you wouldn't want that linked to your name. That doesn't make any sense. But
This is
then
all
from
a leverage play.
that's why I'm saying it's a leverage play, because if I don't think that this would have leaked to the media if KD's team didn't want it leaked to the media, because I don't we all are of the understanding that what KD is asking for him to stay in the Nets is virtually impossible and like one of the wildest, like a very very wild request from a player to ask for a franchise. So like I genuinely believe that KD did this knowing that, and he's just trying to gain leverage because he doesn't really have any. He's on contract. They can't, like we've all been saying, they're just gonna run it back. Now he's trying to like forge, burn
Oh,
all
I
the
see what you're
bridges that he
saying.
can.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I see what you're
He's
saying.
trying to burn all the bridges possible so they can see, okay, we really honestly don't have a way to
Then
run it back
but
anymore.
that is a nasty way to get a trade done. So as if that nigga is thinking to himself like, hey man, if y'all think I'm serious, y'all think I'm not serious, then fire them then. That's yeah, that nigga Katie's nasty.
Nah,
If Katie,
there's no way.
yo, that's a nasty nigga. Now that's crazy.
They
Yeah,
He's
nah,
on
they
that
can't
Kyrie
do
tier level. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a nasty nigga, dog.
that. I've never even seen Kyrie do that shit, honestly.
Yeah, that is a nasty nigga. If he's going this way, just to like put themselves in the most unwinnable situation or trade me just to gain even more leverage, that's a nasty nigga, dog.
I don't think he would. I don't think this would be his original plan, but because he's stuck for 4 years, he's got to go this route. He's got to be that way.
Nah, he can just grind it out.
Also, I wonder what team is going to want to trade for KD knowing this is what he may pull.
I'm about to say, but not only that, even if you're Kevin, this is again. So from what I understand, Sean Marks does not leak information to Sham. He's never done that. And from every Nets fan that I've talked to, that if you just read Woj's articles, they are like undeniably from the perspective of the GM or the front office. Which to be fair, all the ones that I was reading for that video that I just uploaded, that did seem to be true. So if we're saying that, then that is almost implying that he did this, like you said, not only for leverage, but not also did this knowing that like it just tanked his trade value even more. So when
I
they
was
do
just
trade
about to
him,
say that.
it's like when they
I
do, it's like nigga, you thought you couldn't get what you wanted before, okay? Now you're getting less. That's
I
crazy.
I was
I
just about to say that, and that's why as this is a dirty, dirty move that KD just pulled, and now he's driving his trade value down more. So now, like,
It's a lose situation in like some aspects because like even if like he does stay, I don't know. I think bridges are burned. Whatever. Like you said, man, he's burned a. These niggas ain't. I don't know if niggas gonna fuck
But
with
can't
KD
he
no
stay,
more.
Ash? I mean,
Yeah, he can stay. He can stay. Why not?
I don't know.
Why
He
not?
can't.
we're
He
gonna
can't stay.
have
He
a
can't stay.
fucking Dwight Howard and Stan Van Gundy situation
What's the
all over
problem?
again.
Yeah, but he didn't want the GM fired too. He just wanted Stan Van Gundy fired.
I know, but yeah, you're right. It'll be worse.
Yeah,
Like
that's wild.
you as a man, I'm supposed to be Nash coaching this team, knowing that nigga wants me fired. That's what
I
I'm
don't
supposed to
think
do with Steve Nash.
I don't even think it's gonna get to that point. I don't think he's gonna make it to training camp with the Nets.
But that's crazy. That's crazy.
What
Hero
do
to
y'all think
Brooklyn.
happens if they don't fire Marks and Nash, but they also don't trade KD? Like, does he play? Does he sit out?
But that's what I'm
honestly,
saying. So
No, I
is
think
that
KD.
honestly though,
I don't think he
honestly,
sits out.
honestly though, like realistically, Nash should be fired. He's not a good coach, and Sean Marks should also be fired. He's not a good GM
But
in general.
Not much to do with that with
That
him though.
I'm not mad at that because Ash said that earlier. But those are things that could have just been handled behind the scenes, the way that the Kenny Atkinson fire was handled behind the scenes, not put in a fucking sham article after we just got done having a conversation. Because that's
Whole
again the
spot
only
is blew up, my nigga.
it,
I ain't
that's
gonna
what
lie.
I'm saying. Like we're here several months late, really a year or two later, and we don't really still know what happened to the whole Kenny Atkinson situation. So when information doesn't want to get out, it's not going to get out. But now you're telling me the information is going to get out about a coach and a GM that isn't fired yet? That's absurd.
Hero to
Well,
Brooklyn.
it was reported that KD was to meet with the owner like a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah, that's where this all came from.
I'm gonna say this. That's where all this is coming from.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny
That's what I'm
because Kyrie
saying.
still would play with Brooklyn.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
This shit
from my
happens if they
understanding,
let
Kyrie
Kyrie be
does
a
still want to
part-time
play in
player.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Another thing about the Kyrie thing, the fact that Kyrie didn't accept that offer, that's a like the fact that Kyrie didn't accept the guaranteed offer means that after this season, there's zero chance whether KD stays in. Well, from if this is KD's perspective, because of how they've been talking about the Kyrie situation, after this season, Kyrie is gone. Whether KD
Oh
wants
yeah,
to play with Kyrie or not, he's not going to play with him past this season because he didn't sign that extra the multiple years. So let's assume that KD does want to play with Kyrie. That's not gonna happen on the Nets. That is just not gonna happen. They clearly don't want him
That's even
anymore.
more reason why KD wants to leave. Like they
Yeah,
didn't do right by Kyrie by giving him an extension that was close to him staying the same amount as KD. So KD's looking at this. Well, after this season, this roster's gonna be shit. So I need to get the fuck out of here.
but
Yeah,
what
these
team can they go
niggas are
to?
in shambles. I can't because everything that it still just points to at bare minimum one of them not being there. Like at bare minimum, and that would be crazy. That'd be crazy if that's how this whole thing concluded.
the Nets are just a really stupid franchise in my opinion because at, at this point you've already given them everything they wanted. Are you really gonna like? You don't have options in the future, anyways. You have no picks. You have nothing to do like gain by losing Kyrie. Like you honestly are in a situation where you are forced to overpay for him, which you should. Like honestly, like just do it, because like at that point you're. It's like the Paul George situation. You're not trading all those picks and Shea for Paul George. You're trading all those picks and Shea for Paul George and for Kawhi to come. That's why you give Kyrie that overpay, because it's like you keep KD. If that was what KD and Kyrie were telling them, pretty much, and that's what I'm seeing from all the reports.
But I'm so serious when I say I think Kevin Durant just doesn't want to play regardless.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
He's going to the
I I,
Suns.
I think the possi I think I'm being so serious when I say I think that the Kyrie thing is just him hanging on to something so he can sit here and say, "Hey, that thing right there, I know for a fact people will be able to latch onto it." But I don't think he literally wants to play though.
Nah, he don't.
I don't think any nigga want to play.
So
I think there's a
what
chance that
if the
they
Nets
actually
don't
fire
trade
him for
KD? And what if they just keep him? Do you think he's gonna hold out?
Ooh, nah.
That
He's
would
gonna pull
be.
up
I don't.
with a hamstring
There's no
injury.
way he pulls a Ben Simmons.
He's
There's
not
no way,
pulling a
right?
Ben Simmons.
He's under contract for 4 years.
Yeah.
That's what Ben
Well,
Simmons
yeah,
will
so
look
is
like,
Ben
but
Simmons. To be honest.
That's true.
Well, then
KD's
that
not
looks
pulling
bad
Ben
on the
Simmons.
Nets. So you're just not gonna do what the best player in the NBA wants. You're just gonna sit on your hands.
Whoa, whoa.
They
Hey,
don't
but
they
but
don't
they
have
don't.
Giannis on their team, so I
Yo,
don't know how that's gonna
they
play.
don't have Nikola Jokic on the
look,
team,
bro,
bro.
just tried to sneak that in, man. Ain't
Yeah,
that
Oh
crazy?
God, he
It's
did just do
definitely
that.
Giannis.
I didn't know.
They
I
don't
didn't
they
know
don't
From
have
from
Nikola
their
Jokic
Giannis
played for
nor
perspective,
Brooklyn.
Jokic
dog.
nor
From their
Steph
Yeah.
perspective.
I didn't know Brooklyn
He's
nor
was
not
that
even
good.
better than
LeBron.
Bron.
That's crazy.
It's really top five though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he
They
is.
don't have none of them niggas on their team, so I don't know how that's gonna
KD
happen.
not even better than Bron. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, they don't even have a top five player on their team,
Whoa,
which is
whoa, whoa, whoa,
which
whoa. All
honestly
right,
is how they
let's
should look at
relax.
this nigga. They should look at him like you're not even top five, nigga. Get
Like
out my
fuck,
face,
nigga. Who you
nigga.
think you is, nigga? You sit your ass
This
on
is
mute.
Nigga, it's not LeBron,
nasty.
bro. I
This
don't know
is
why you
Yeah,
acting like
nasty.
you're not LeBron, nigga. Get out my face,
Yo,
nigga.
yo.
This is
Shut up and play,
nasty.
nigga.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Shut up and play, nigga. Shut up.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That
Hey,
was
Tyler
nasty to
Hero to
sneak that in there.
Brooklyn.
I have a question.
Oh man,
Stop it. That's
that's
nasty.
a
That is a
Stop it.
nasty chant.
disgusting trade,
That's a
man.
Yeah, that was
nasty
nasty.
chant.
Fucking Jack Harlow shooting coach, dog. What are we
That
doing
was
here?
nasty. Hey, I got a question. For Low,
I had told that nigga to shut up and dribble.
for Low and Ash, like, so with the Nets team, do y'all believe even with KD, like, let's say in some world, KD, he walks into that locker room a month from now in training camp, and he's like, "We got a pretty solid squad right here." Do y'all think how far could y'all see the Nets going realistically?
Second round
That's I
exit
Second
that's
round.
maximum.
I did. I think that's the second or third round exit team, and it's easy. If I was a Net fan, I could convince myself that I can make it to the finals with that team. Not saying that they will go, but I can convince myself that I could get far and be.
Nigga, the
Nah,
Celtics.
nigga,
The
they're
Celtics
not
Nah, they're
beating the
just won and
Celtics,
got
the
better. Nigga. What are
Sixers,
we
nor the
talking about?
Bucks, dog.
You're not convincing yourself of no finals appearance, bro. Shut the fuck up, man.
If I'm a
I'm
Nets
sorry,
fan,
bro. No, okay,
if
we're
I'm a
not.
Yes.
Nets
We're
fan,
not doing this. We're not doing this. Nah, they're contenders
Nets
if they
fans
come
were
back.
convincing themselves that they can beat the Celtics. Like,
Niggas got swept.
To be fair, I don't think nobody saw the niggas get swept, bro.
they still thought that they can beat the Celtics this year, so they can definitely convince themselves. We got more size than T.J. Warren. We got a quality
We
a
call
better
it TJ
defender.
Warren size.
Hey, well,
Okay,
he's trying
listen.
to figure out how to work
Are
a
we
double team.
assuming?
Nah, you don't know
Are
how
we?
delusional some of these niggas are.
Yeah,
In,
Nets
in,
They
in
view
fans.
this
they view Nigga Clash as a generational center right now, bro. I promise you.
Yeah, Nets
in this
fans.
in this in this hypothetical, are we considering Ben Simmons as like what we saw from Ben Simmons last?
Oh man,
I
Nigga,
think
that's
Yeah,
I
what he
think
fucking
is.
I'm
I
bum.
mean,
I actually think the best version of Ben Simmons you think can happen because I think that they're probably run Simmons more as 4 or 5 in certain lineups.
yeah.
If that's the case, they're contenders. If they have that
I
and
don't know
they're
about
best,
all
like,
that.
they're
I don't know about
contenders.
No, even with that, they're not contenders, bro.
And if Joe
Yeah.
Harris comes back, comes back, that's a good team.
The main
They're
thing
good as
that
base
like
players, but they're not
that
finalists.
Joe Harris
Harris
folds
for
in the
being
playoffs. Contenders is their
Dog,
best
they're
player.
still not a
Like
good
KD
defensive
isn't
team,
a
dog.
number one option on the championship team. I'm be real.
Nigga Durant folds in the playoffs, and so does Kyrie. But I mean,
No,
we
he
still got to do something.
doesn't.
Whoa!
No,
Oh,
he
Nah,
wow, he
doesn't.
does.
Giannis fans hate
hey,
on
Y'all
folding in the playoffs.
chill.
y'all niggas
Let's
are
look at the
y'all
facts.
sleep.
Fans
This
Y'all are
is
not
crazy
awoke.
coming from a Giannis fan talking about folding in the playoffs. But you know what? Let me
That's crazy.
Did
keep my mouth
Giannis
shut.
see the super team to win a championship?
Nah, but he needed all the injuries in the world. Am I cooking?
Cook,
Am I cooking?
no,
Oh,
you not.
and what
Cook is burnt.
What did Kevin Durant need? Kevin
The
Durant needed
race.
no Chris
Listen,
Paul for him to beat
low.
the
I
fucking
vividly
Rockets.
The greatest
remember.
team of all
I
time.
vividly remember.
The
Cash,
greatest team of all
wait,
time.
low. I vividly remember Cash Money going for 40 in a finals, bro. Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday had a pretty good finals game too, man. Super team? That's right, super team.
What's
What
up with
is
you?
He
this
Let's
was
switch
nigga?
your mic.
inefficient. He was
Peeking
different
through.
defense.
Is this nigga talking through a styrofoam mic?
That's
right
what I'm
now?
saying. Let's switch your mic, bro.
Child.
Yeah, ain't what sound
Are you on the?
underwater.
Eli? Are you in the school bus right now, bro?
He is 4:30. He just got off.
Damn, why you tell him bro like that, man?
This nigga's
Hey
in the
man,
school bus.
real one started the school in the month, bro.
I
Oh
actually
man,
really
yours
thought
should
that
have
was
been to
funny during
Brooklyn.
Lil
No
Funny.
cap.
Tighten up, bro.
Just had to take
Yo, all I know
out
is
the
this, bro.
headphones, bro.
That team, bro. That team ain't as bad as some of y'all making it out to be.
It's
I
not
still
good
don't think they're
either,
gonna win
bro.
a champion. I don't think they're gonna win a championship. But if I'm a Nets fan, I can definitely convince myself of that. And KD probably look if he comes in training camp, start training up, he probably can convince
Why do
himself of
we
that as
keep talking
well.
about No, I don't think I think
It's a good team.
if they
It's a
Yeah,
good
It's a
it
team.
is a
good
good
Nigga,
team.
team.
that
at this
team
point,
was
It
actually
is a good
performing
team.
at
pretty
this
good in
point,
No,
that
I don't know about
Celtics
man,
great,
series.
but it's just good.
The
It's
Nets
definitely
But
need
the chemistry
Umberto
is shot
Savin.
though. They
at
have no
this
chemistry
point,
right now.
if they've had multiple little conferences where he's made it clear that he's made it clear that he wants out. I don't think that it's as simple as KD convinces himself that he likes this team.
But
Like,
so did Kobe. Kobe said multiple times,
and
"I want
Kobe
out."
was going to be
Bro,
traded.
Kobe
yeah.
was literally looking for
I'm
leverage,
not. I'm
bro,
not
A
to
saying that he
get
deal
traded.
was
wasn't.
quite
I'm not
Hey,
saying
literally
Kobe
that
wasn't
he
done.
looking for
wasn't
The
nobody to
deal
going
was
to
done.
trade.
The
Kobe
deal
was
was
looking,
done.
literally looking for them to make a trade for him to get a
Kobe
second
was
star.
quite
The
literally
deal was
traded.
I'm not saying that they weren't. I'm not saying that they weren't looking to. I'm not saying that Kobe wasn't looking to be traded. What I'm
He
saying is,
didn't actually want
It
to
wasn't
trade,
just looking to be though, Lo. He quite literally was traded.
Yeah, the deal was
I'm
and
done.
not saying
he
that he
declined. He declined the
wasn't,
trade,
nigga.
bro.
But what I'm
Relax.
saying is that Kobe went from
That's not
get
even
me
what
off this
happened,
fucking
Classy. Somebody had a
team,
trade
and
for that.
all
It
they had
wasn't
was
like that,
all they
Lo. It was more of like, bro,
all it
they're
took
not
was a
trying to make
deep
any.
postseason run.
They weren't
Now,
trying to
now,
make. They were not trying to make
No,
any
that's
moves
not
for
all it
Kobe.
took, nigga. It took them
To
literally
trade
being
for Pau
unable to
Gasol.
find the
That's
trade
literally.
okay,
and them
all right.
having
So
to
what if
niggas
what
put the
if you're
team around.
Joe? What if you're
Until the Paul
Josiah? What
trade,
if
he
you're
was still
Josiah
looking
and
for
Sean
that.
Marks, and you're
Joe
saying
Tsai
like,
and Sean
"Yo,
Marks ain't
That's
doing nothing, bro. That
that's
shit
why
was
they need
dead.
to trade for Russell Westbrook. He didn't make
Yes,
superstars.
oh my God, no,
bro.
please stop."
If Joe Tsai can come
Nigga,
up with
I
if
would
Joe
strike
Tsai
the
and Sean
Nets
Marks
if
can
I
come
was
up with a
Brooklyn.
heist of the century like the Paul Gasol trade, then yeah, maybe KD's like, I love this franchise. I want to be a part of that franchise. But that's not a realistic expectation.
Nigga, stop throwing shades at my franchise. I'm talking
I
about
don't think.
the heist of the century.
Memphis, your Memphis is your franchise
Hey,
now.
Y'all
I
looked
don't think.
into that, bro.
I don't think there's any realistic trade that is possible that the Nets can make to keep KD. Like it's
Yeah.
done. I genuinely just think it's done. There's
KD's gonna
nothing.
be on the roster. Just
Did they have to trade James Harden, by the way? Like,
Yeah.
actually?
bro, let's be real. This isn't if the Shams report is true, then Sean Markson and what Steve Nash aren't gonna be a part of this association going forward, bro. Like that's just the reality of it, bro. When you choose the infrastructure of KD, it's always KD. KD's always the choice. It's always the superstar, bro.
Well, not with
But
Jimmy Butler. Not
but
with
you
Jimmy
have to think
Butler in
about who the
Chicago.
yeah
owner is.
yeah not with Jimmy. They shipped Jimmy out.
We
It
have
was so
to think
Well,
smart.
about who the
they
owner
didn't view
is.
Jimmy as a superstar.
Well, they should have.
Well, they should have because but it led the Heat to the conference finals. You
Yeah,
know.
Jimmy.
I
Jimmy done
bet.
Like,
definitely got further in the playoffs without a super team around him.
exactly. And then like
Jimmy did more than
KD,
KD.
That's a
KD's
fact. We
not
being
built
honest
like
about
that though. Like KD, he's good. He's superstar talent, but
And that's
at
and
least
listen,
I
listen,
don't see
listen,
him
listen.
being
I'm
the
not
number one
denying
player on
anything you're
that type
saying.
of team.
All I'm saying is that like using Chicago as example is kind of crazy because obviously
I use Philly.
Jimmy and KD aren't viewed the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. If this was anybody else, I promise you, if it was anybody else, Eli would be spazzing. But because it's Jimmy Butler and he plays for Miami, he plays for Miami. He's like, yo, facts. This nigga is actually on the same level with KD.
bro, I just said he wasn't, bro. I just said
I
he
know, but
wasn't.
you will be spazzing right now. You be spazzing. But
Bro,
because it's Jimmy in Miami,
I'm tired, bro. It's been a long day, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Jimmy's the GOAT.
yo, but we've seen. All I'm saying is we've seen it before, where a star player that makes demands and they say fuck no. And I'm gonna be honest with you, shit, Wade and Rondo and Jimmy, that team ain't too far from what this fucking
Okay,
team.
You're getting
Hell
That's
no.
nah.
That's
Amount of
crazy.
Bro,
disrespect.
that
That's so
Chicago team
nasty.
can't
Let's
even
be
beat Isaiah
serious.
Thomas.
Low is cooking.
God damn.
Wait.
This
Lo, what
nigga
I
is not
will say
fucking.
is that if any owner is gonna tell Kevin Durant no, it seems like Joe Tsai is built like the kind of reputation
No, 100%.
that he seems to be that guy because he basically has like multiple times like
But what's
uh,
most so
no deal for Kyrie.
okay?
Okay, so one time. Also, apparently KD wanted Ty Lue. He didn't get Ty Lue. Boom.
I thought Kyrie
No,
wanted
no,
Ty
no,
Lue.
no. Kyrie wanted
Kyrie
Ty Lue.
wanted
KD,
Handy. No,
Kyrie
no,
KD,
no,
wanted
no, no,
Lil
no,
bad.
Kyrie
no,
wanted
no.
Ty Lue, and then
If they
KD
had
wanted
Ty Lue,
Steve
if they had
Nash.
Ty Lue, they wouldn't have lost in the first round this season.
Wanted Steve Nash because of his Warriors ties
Where
and
is
all
that
that shit.
report from?
It was reported when it was happening. I can show you this. I have a screenshot, but I'll just look it up again because Kyrie
Yeah,
wanted Ty Lue, but KD wanted
Kyrie
Nash.
wanted the right, and
I'll
they ended
believe
up
Trey
saying,
over Scoop B. So
nah. KD definitely wanted Steve Nash. I remember Hey, that report. Scoopy been hitting lately, bro. You gonna have to stop
he
disrespecting Yo,
might.
Ash. him.
That's the
Yo,
thing.
Ash.
Nah, I don't know.
He
Nah, I
needs
don't know.
more
Scooby been
tape.
hitting?
We don't know
Who the
anything,
hell
bro.
is Scoop B? Who is actually?
You don't know
Who the hell are
you
you,
don't know
nigga?
Scoop B?
No, I Ever don't. disrespect the legend like that
Scoop B
again?
is like the
Smack the
ugliest
shit
guy
out of
on
you,
this
nigga.
app, bro.
Well, Scooby been hitting, but you been hitting no bitches. So how about that?
What? Yeah. Lo,
Yo,
you didn't hear
Ash,
what
don't be like you wasn't. Don't pretend like you wasn't
Yeah,
trying to record a
it's
couple things,
ridiculous.
Lo, did you hear what this nigga just said, bro?
What do you say? What do you say?
No way, man. This nigga just said, nah, man. Lo, you gotta get this nigga out of here, bro.
What did he say?
No, bro. I
They
can't
trying to frame
even
a black
repeat
man.
it,
They
bro.
trying to frame a young black.
Lo, this nigga just said, I said Scooby been hitting. This nigga said Scooby been hitting, but you ain't been hitting no bitches, bro.
Oh my god.
There's to get him out of here, bro.
nigga want you to be Ash Bridges, my nigga. No cap.
I'm saying this nigga's a domestic. Oh, like, Lo, bro, these the niggas you be hiring?
Did he
Oh my
did he call
god.
me a
This is
domestic
insane.
what?
Everybody,
Domestic
this is
what?
Lowe's
You
employee.
call me a domestic terrorist?
This how you be talking to niggas, bro? Crazy stuff.
Yo,
Did you just call me a domestic terrorist?
Yes.
Oh, you're a nigger, so.
What?
What?
Hey,
Low, bro. You have
what?
Low, control your spaces, man.
Oh my god.
Yo, Ash just DM'd me hard.
Yo, can we rotate some people, Ash?
Can you get a new co-host? Like
Oh my
another
god.
one?
Let me up.
Yo.
Let me get that.
Already thought the Trey.
What the hell?
Since Trey is a net insider.
Net inside.
That
Facts,
insider is
facts.
Don't ever call that nigga that shit again.
Hey, I got personal ties to Kyrie, bro. Look at the picture,
Yeah,
bro.
you
I
got
took
it,
him
bro.
myself.
No,
You
you
dick,
do
you
not,
dick sucking
man.
that nigga 24/7 is a personal ties, nigga.
Hey, didn't you call Harden your son?
I did. You got it. Shut your ass
Hey,
up.
isn't
nigga.
there a video you call Harden your son?
He did.
Oh, okay.
That's how you sound, nigga.
Hey, by the way, if y'all want to see that clip, go to my YouTube channel, man.
Yeah, shut up, nigga.
Watch the
Alright.
video, man.
Ass plug.
Watch
All right,
the YouTube video, man.
I'm gonna bring some niggas up.
Yeah, show some people in and out, man.
Yeah,
Thank
you
y'all
need to-
who
you
been
need to-
up here. Thank y'all for
Nah, never mind. I was about to say something crazy, man. Never mind.
What Katie been doing is crazy.
It is
That's
kind of
what
crazy.
about Ben
It's not.
Simmons?
It's not the
Mid-off.
kind of crazy. It's actually unheard of getting what you right. He wanted Nash. He wanted this. He wanted he was pushing him to get hard and all this other shit. Obviously, the hard thing that's like a whole different situation. But he wanted to get Nash. They get Nash. Nash proves that he wasn't suited for the job. Now you want. Now it's between fire the
I don't know,
GM
man. They had a pretty
and
good
fire
season
Nash
last year.
or trade me, my nigga. That's actually insane.
What
Especially knowing what Nash had to go through last season. Last season's not even fair to Nash because the nigga, no other team went through what the Nets went through. So and Nash is a bad coach, yes. Nash not a good coach. But to not give him some type of
How do we
leeway and
know
some type
that?
of benefit of the doubt versus a 2-year stint and one of those years being one of the most difficult coaching years of all time, my nigga. That's insane.
I think you're
I'm not
also
trying to
underselling
showing.
it too, because
I'm
he
not.
doesn't just want Steve Nash and Sean Marks fired. He also wants a whole nother
No,
roster. Because
the
That
roster
hasn't been reported yet. but-
that's not yet. The roster, bro. The roster is more than capable of competing, bro. It may not be a contending roster. You might need some more pieces, or you might need some more effort from Katie
It's a
and
good
Kyrie.
roster.
But it's still a solid roster where you can
How
make
far
trades.
are you going, Trey? How far are you going?
Second round.
They'll be lucky to get out the plane. Let's just say that.
all right,
Okay.
Trey, how far are they going?
second round exit.
Am I cooking?
If they
Am I
run
cooking?
into the Celtics in the second round, bro, they're not making out the second round. But it
The
depends.
Celtics, nigga, they're not beating the
Hey, they make
Bucks.
it past the
They're not
You know
Sixers,
what?
the
If I
Bucks.
speak
If they
Bucks
run
in
into
the
the Bucks, they have
No.
problems.
Let Trey. If they run into the Sixers in the second round,
Oh, they're beating the Sixers, bro. Who cares about
they're
the
beating
Oh,
the
come on
Sixers.
now.
My name's Trey.
what I
They're beating
tell
Come on,
y'all?
dog.
What I tell
They're
y'all?
not
What I
beating
tell y'all? I
anybody.
told
Embiid.
They'll be
Embiid's
lucky
getting
if they can
injured.
beat the Raptors.
Fucking
in
Nick
seven
Claxton
games.
about to
injured,
guard
bro.
this nigga and stop.
They'll be
Ben
lucky
Simmons
if
is
they can
locking
beat the
up
Raptors.
Harden. Ben Simmons is locking up Harden, bro. Kyrie,
Ben
man,
Simmons
hell,
hasn't locked
Kyrie's locking up
anybody out
Harden,
in
my nigga.
2 fucking years, nigga. Stop talking about
Kyrie's locking up Harden, my nigga. No cap. He just
Yeah,
did it last
okay,
season.
bro. Okay, man.
Three for what?
This
12?
disrespect won't go on for too long, man. I can't wait for the
I ain't
season
gonna
to
lie.
start, bro.
Hey, Detroit, you didn't see the last game Kyrie played
Did
against
y'all
Harden?
see Scotty getting cooked in that open run? But I'm told he's the next generational man.
Hey,
after
hey,
LeBron.
hey,
Okay, all
Cooked
right.
by who? Cooked by
We're
who?
not
Cooked by
talking
who?
about fucking run. Hey,
Cooked
yo,
by
I ain't
Harden?
gonna lie. If that will literally be
Yes.
some. It will literally be that would be the worst coach series of all time. Steve Nash and Doc Rivers having a mid office.
Please respect Doc Rivers. Don't compare him to Steve
I
Nash.
will
nigga.
never
Nigga,
in
hold
my
up,
Please
life
don't compare him to
respect Doc
Steve
Rivers as
Nash.
a coach.
Ash.
No,
know
I
Trey.
would not. I've seen this
Fact.
nigga put
No,
guards
listen,
in the
listen.
dunker
You're a
Doc
dick
spot.
sucker,
No,
bro. You're not even a
No,
Sixers
wait,
fan,
look,
bro. You're not even a Sixers fan, bro. You're not even a
Nigga, can you
Sixers
let
fan.
me talk, nigga? Can you let me talk? Doc
nigga,
Rivers
No,
you
bro.
is
You
upset
finna
that
say
bad.
that
some
nigga,
bullshit because
yo,
Harden. That's
Okay,
Harden's
that
man.
nigga
coach.
Harden's
Okay.
legacy is on the line because of Doc
Nigga,
Rivers.
even Doc Rivers don't believe in that fraud, nigga, bro. He said, I don't know if I can win with James Harden, nigga. He don't know if he can win with Harden.
James Harden's legacy cannot take another bad coaching.
Jimmy Butler, pack that man. Okay, all I'm trying to say is, bro, Doc Rivers is bad, but Steve Nash is an incompetent, terrible basketball coach. Just because one is a bad playoff coach does not necessarily mean Steve Nash isn't a good regular season coach. I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. Doc Rivers has supplied.
What was Steve Nash? Okay. What was Steve Nash supposed to do this year? What was he supposed to do?
What was he supposed? It's not just this year. It's just these past 2 years in general. He just hasn't been a good coach.
His first year, they were the second seed in the
because
conference.
Mike D'Antoni was coaching the fucking offense.
That may but that may be true. And like I said, I don't think
may be true. All you gotta do is watch a fucking game. All they did was
nigga,
D'Antoni's
listen. I literally was on here saying that I don't think he's a good coach either. But to say he's incompetent is a whole different story because for him to be incompetent, you have to have there's no real evidence to say
Yes,
that
yes.
he's
Playing
competent.
Patty Mills at the end of games is definitely a sign of confidence.
What could he do?
What do you mean? What could he have done? Not
Who
play
could he
3
replace him
fucking
with? Who could he?
6-footers at
What
the
could
end
he
of a
be done?
playoff
What
game
could
against
he?
a
What
lineup
could
of
he?
giants.
What was his roster? What was his roster?
What do you
Who
mean?
did
What
he
was
have?
his roster?
How could he have sustained? No, because the only reason they was in those games was because their offense was at an all time high. Their defense was ass. What could he have done to put it? Who could he have put in that could have sustained the offense while also making the defense that much better? Where you can sacrifice some offense, my nigga. What could he have done? He had no roster. He had the roster was ass. He had nobody. Ben Simmons was not finna play.
Yo,
He had nobody to go in there and defend the fucking Celtics. He had to try to outscore